Yo, this is Joker News speaking, and we got the latest news dropping in for you. Members, which included conspiring to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations, RICO, in case you didn't know what that meant. Now act, murder, armed, robbery, and participation in criminal street gang activity. Now Thug himself was hit with more than 7 felony charges. Now, after a search warrant was executed at his Georgia home, more details about YSL's alleged crimes have arrived since their arrest, including a recent accusation from Georgia prosecutors. Now, following an emergency motion filed by YFN Lucci, who was allegedly stabbed with a shank. Yes, he was allegedly stabbed with a shank repeatedly inside the Fulton County Jail. And this is just released. This is some big news right here. Now, by a YSL member, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis shared more details about YSL's alleged crime. And what myself and any law enforcement member can tell you as a result of that is the back and forth gun violence and murders that have occurred. Now, there have been probably in excess of 50 since 2015 triggered by that in the back and forth between that YSL gang and other gangs. Now, Willis was speaking about the 2015 murder of Donovan Thomas, which she said was extremely significant, quote unquote, in connecting YSL to other alleged crimes that are listed in the case. And, this is some even more like breaking news. This happened in 2015 and now they're just releasing this? Think about that. Now, in the 2015 incident, the 26-year-old YFN affiliate was murdered outside of a barbershop, and Thug is accused of renting the Infiniti Q50 sedan used in the crime. Sorry about that. Now, YFN Lucci's team filed the emergency motion on the basis of him being a victim in the YSL case. Lucci's legal team is reportedly asking the rapper be released on reasonable conditions, quote unquote, and an emergency bond hearing, quote unquote. Now, they add that despite being a named victim in a sprawling and high-profile criminal case, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office nor any victim's advocate from their office has reached out to Mr. Rayshawn Bennett or his counsel. And, keeping up with his new music can be exhausting, even impossible, from the weekly album releases to standalone singles dropping on a daily basis. The amount of music is so vast, it's easy for something to slip through the cracks. Even following along with the Uprock's recommendations on a daily basis can be a lot to ask. So every Monday, we're offering up this rundown of the best new music this week. And, this week, we saw Kendrick Lamar dominate all conversation in the music world with his feverishly anticipated new album, Yeah. It was a great week for new music. Check out the highlights below. We'll keep you updated on that as well. For more music recommendations, check out our Listen to This section as well, our indie mixtape and pop life newsletters as well. Also, find our Uproxx HQ Spotify playlist, which is updated weekly with the best new music at the end of the post. But continuing on, we got Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was the most anticipated hip-hop album since probably the 2017 release of Lamar's Damn. The album has been out for a few days now, and thousands of hours have surely been spent listening to and dissecting it. After the LP dropped, Lamar put the focus on one track in particular by dropping a video for N95, a cinematic, eventful clip. And last week was indisputably all about Lamar, but Post Malone had himself a nice run too. He stopped by The Tonight Show ahead of his appearance on Saturday Night Live, where he performed the new single he released last week. The song is the Roddy Ricch collaboration, Cooped Up, a song that perhaps could have been called Pooped Up. Now, while Radiohead proper hasn't had an album since 2016, A Moon-Shaped Pool, two of the band's primary figures, Thom Yorke and Johnny Greenwood, teamed up with the sons of Kemet drummer Tom Skinner to form a new band, The Smile. We crush him. Why is that? The once triumphant world of Atlanta hip-hop is in state of emergency, just days after a far-reaching 56-count indictment named Young Thug, Gunna, and more than 24 other artists from YSL's roster as alleged conspirators in a well-organized criminal organization. The label's up, and coming signee Lil Keed passed away on the Saturday, May 14th. The cause of his death remains unknown. A prodigy of Young Thug Keed is not named in any indictment, and he was among the first to speak out on the allegations against YSL. In a post on his Instagram days before his death, he wrote that YSL is not a street gang. Young Thug, real name Jeffrey Williams, is listed as the head of the supposed organization in last week's indictment and stands accused of violating Georgia's RICO Act, as well as participating in criminal street gang activity. Many of the charges cite his lyrics as evidence of an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. And, the claims drew criticism from around rap community for their aggressive scope. YSL is not a gang and never been a gang, fool. Producer Metro Boomin wrote on Twitter over the weekend, YSL is a registered LLC and has provided countless jobs and opportunities for underprivileged black people, and really just all people, because that's how big Thug Heart is. Now, the use of Thug's lyrics in the indictment fits into broader legal trends that have been decried by scholars. Courts have in fact treated both poems and lyrics as having evidential value. And notes Randy D. Gordon, as executive professor of law of Texas A&M University, is of course unusual because that tactic bump up against First Amendment concerns. Now, so far, lawyers for both Gunna and Young Thug have slammed the district attorney's use of lyrics in the indictment. Still, requests to release the rappers on bond have been denied, and they remain in custody. Now, the indictment alleges a massive RICO conspiracy and offers up multiple pages of so-called predicate acts, And in support of said conspiracy, the sheer number of these acts, coupled with the dozens of defendants, will make it difficult to tie them together in a coherent story, Gordon says. Now, the prosecution will also have to show that the predicate acts are related as opposed to random. Now, Thug's generosity is indeed well documented, and it would appear that prosecutors are hoping to spin a narrative out of the musician's public image. And that's like they're looking to get the fame, the clout too, even in their own type of way. These narrators, these prosecutors, they want to make their own little story on this musician, and that's wrong. Now, in looking to connect YSL to the Bloods, prosecutors are using... Now, and this is just all these recent crazy news going on, but we're going to keep you updated with these more juicy latest news and keep you informed. But hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned.